Well, thank you so much for joining us today on another series of Wellness Wednesday. And today we have the privilege of speaking with Dr. Kiarra King. Dr. King is a Chicago-based physician who is board certified in obstetrics and gynecology. She is a sought-after speaker, content creator, social media influencer, a model, mother, and much more. She has created the premier destination for style, wellness, and modern motherhood at drkiarraking.com. She has been a guest on ABC's Windy City Live. She has been featured in Essence.com, on Romper.com. She has also appeared in Self Magazine as an expert for Chicago Parent Magazine. She has also been on a series of the nationally syndicated show House Smarts, which we all know here in Chicago. Dr. King, her mission really is to live a life that inspires those around her, to help them embrace their own beauty, to help them optimize their health, and really to help them walk with purpose. Am I right on that? Did I say that?
Absolutely. Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
thank you so much for joining us today. It is an absolute.
Oh gosh. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always a blessing to be able to participate in these opportunities and to be able to share my platform with others. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, we talked a little bit about your mission and your purpose for wellness. Help us understand, how did that become your purpose, your mission?
Well, really just from my profession, obviously I'm an OB-GYN. I take care of women through all stages of their life. I see young ladies in their teens to women in their 80s and 90s. And so, you know, the types of patients I see run the gamut. And, you know, I always enjoy connecting with patients on a personal level, not just, you know, the problem that brought them in for a particular visit. And I always love sharing with them and finding ways to help them really just live their most optimal lives. That's the way that I put it kind of in my mission statement. But, you know, I tell patients all the time, they'll be coming for a pap smear, but I'm also asking them, you know, what are you eating? How are you moving? You know, what's going on, you know, in this relationship? Because we are the sum total of our experiences. And, you know, if a certain part of your life is, you know, not optimal, it's going to reflect in other areas of your life. If you don't feel good about how you look because maybe you haven't been eating the right things or moving the right way, that's going to affect potentially your self-confidence in other areas. And so it was really just looking at identifying the areas in our life that we can improve upon. So again, we can live our most optimal life.
And I love that, especially when it comes to women's health and women's wellness, because that's so important as a woman to have a doctor that can meet you on that level, which, you know, a lot of doctors can't. So the fact that you are able to really see the whole person is, you know, that's really special, because you develop those special relationships, right, with your patients on that point, and you really get to know them better.
Yes, totally agree. Totally
how would
agree.
you, wellness is a broad word. How would you define wellness?
Again, it is a very broad term, but I think wellness is being in a state of peace where you are in life, regardless of what's going on. Being able to have peace of mind about what's going on around you, what's going on with your body. And I think that comes over time. Like, I don't think you may not always feel well every single moment of the day, but I think it's a more global concept, meaning it is a more broad term, but just even in terms of a longevity perspective, you may not feel great one day, but you can still have wellness, if that makes sense. But I think in general things, you know, making sure we're eating clean, making sure we're moving our bodies, making sure, that you're connected spiritually, making sure you're loving on family and friends. Like wellness is like a sum of all of those life experiences that make us who we are. And so really trying to optimize each area that defines who we are as individuals. And that's obviously going to look different for each person. If someone enjoys swimming or basketball or whatever, and they can't do it because they're stuck in the house because of coronavirus and quarantines and all of that kind of stuff,
Right.
they may kind of feel like, man, I just don't feel like myself. I can't move like I want to. But then we have to realize when you have mental and kind of spiritual wellness, you can pivot and you can say, okay, I can't go out and play basketball. I can't go swim. I can't go dance. What can I do to mitigate the things I can't do right now? So, you know what I mean? But you have to have the mental maturity to be able to do that. And again, that's where optimizing your life comes in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
Because
I really
for
like
some
that.
people,
I like that a lot because I think oftentimes we think of wellness either we are or we aren't, right?
yes,
For you to
yes,
say that,
right,
you can still not feel great one day, but you still have wellness.
right, right,
I love how you encircle, it's more than mind, body, and spirit. It's
right,
everything. It's your experiences. It's who you have in your
yeah,
life. I,
yeah,
I never really thought of it like that. Truthfully, if I wake up one day and I'm just not feeling well, then I'm just not well. Instead of
right,
really
right,
looking at everything else that I have going on.
yes.
Yeah, I love
And I
that.
think
I love that
I,
global
I think that
aspect,
makes such a difference in terms of how we view the world,
right?
honestly. I will be honest, for me, with everything that's going on right now, I am quite at peace. And I don't say that to make it like, oh, I'm just fine, not at all. But I'm okay. I have my health, my family is well. I have food, I have clothing, I have provision. And I know that it doesn't just boil down to that, because yes, it would be nice to be able to go and physically see my friends. Yes, it would be nice to go and take Kai to gymnastics or ballet and all of that. But at this moment in time, I can't do those things. So
Mm-hmm.
it's okay for now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I
so we
do.
have to get to those points where we can accept the things that are happening around us without it inciting fear, panic, gloom and doom, or anything like that. I can just say, okay, I can't do those things right now. What can I do right now? And just shift my focus.
Well, I think you're right. And it does take a sense of a level of maturity,
Mm-hmm.
or of mindfulness that,
Yeah, yeah,
to get to that point. And
yeah.
I think of our teenagers now and our
Mm-hmm.
children who are,
Mm-hmm.
going through, challenging times. Um,
Yeah.
at the time of this recording, we are in the middle of, COVID-19, but even so, there's so much anxiety in children. Even before all of this happened, there's just so much anxiety in kids
Yeah.
right now. Is there anything that you could recommend, any suggestions that you could recommend that would maybe help our kids get to that level of mindfulness when it comes to
You
wellness?
know, I I think honestly, and this is going to sound very cliche, but having an attitude of gratitude. We have to be grateful
Yeah.
for what we have. That does not mean that we can't desire more. It doesn't mean that we can't be actively working for more. But when you actively take a stance and you are intentional about appreciating what is right in front of you, and being thankful for that,
Mhm.
it's hard to get sidetracked with what you don't have. It's hard to get sidetracked with, oh, but this was supposed to happen or that was supposed to happen. When you're like, you know what? Today's a great day. I woke up, I can breathe, I can call my friends, I can Skype, FaceTime, whatever, insert whatever virtual,
Right,
app.
right.
And no, it's not the same, but we can still be grateful. And I think that when we're always giving thanks despite the circumstances, it just, our outlook on life changes. And it becomes an outlook of gratitude versus an outlook of instant gratification. Because we absolutely, especially for our younger ones, live in an instant gratification society. We just do. Like, they can get anything they want. We can get anything they want within a matter of, if I want something, I can go to Amazon, I can go to Walmart.com, I can go to Target.com, insert any other .com, you can order it and it's at your house in like a day. And then, even just information, I can Google whatever I want and have that information at my fingertips. So we live in such an instant gratification society that I think a lot of disappointment comes for some, obviously not all, when we're not able to get the things that we want right away. And so I think that is why the situation we're currently dealing with has the potential to impact the youth so greatly, because their worlds are like upside down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their worlds are just upside down. And I think, I just think, practicing having gratitude, just being thankful for the things that we have. Again, not that you're not disappointed that certain things won't happen, but it's just going to change that perspective. Like, I will be honest, not too much gets under my skin, not too much, but I'm not going to say things don't bother me, but in terms of like actually disturbing me to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, thinking about it, nothing really gets to me, because I can only be responsible for myself and I can only control myself. I can't control what other people do to me, say to me. And I think the sooner we learn that, the better as well. Because I know that if someone hurt my feelings, said something wrong, it's really not about me. Like, that's an issue that person had to work through. And the less that I take that on personally, I can just like shake it off and be like, well, I'm really sorry they felt that way, but I know I did my part to do what was right, and I can't help how they feel. You know what I mean? So
no, I do.
There's so much. There's so much. I think.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think we just have to start with ourselves, and we have to start with an attitude of gratitude, and we have to start with being responsible for making good decisions, kind decisions, and just being a good person. I spoke with someone the other day and I'm like, that's half the battle. It's just being a good person, just making kind decisions, just
I do. I think it's operating from mindset of abundance versus
for sure.
When we feel abundant in our life, we do those things. We are more kind. We are more generous. We are more everything, right? Random acts of kindness.
Yeah.
When do you hear that last? Versus scarcity, I think we withdraw and we hold on, and we aren't as generous and we aren't as kind to others. So I love that, just being thankful for what you have and operating from generosity. That's really powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you were to give us a couple of strategies as we move from winter to somewhat spring,
I know, snowing.
Last night, spring, into summer. If you could give us some strategies as a family wellness, when we think about our family, what would be maybe a couple of things that you would recommend that we start practicing?
I would say, just especially in the season that we're in, not the actual climate season, but the season that we're in, just in the world right now, is one, taking it moment by moment, and trying not to be so consumed with what's to come months ahead, because obviously nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen when we get off of this phone call,
right?
But living in the moment, enjoying what's around you in the moment. One of the things Kai and I do during this time is we live near a bunch of forest preserves, but there's one in particular that there are often a lot of deer that come out. So we drive and we go see the deer. It's like a little field trip.
Oh, sure.
So even though we can't go, she can't go to school and she can't go to all of her activities. We make something out of what we have. So, enjoying the moment, using what you have, and still remembering to have fun, like despite all of what's going on. Like, you can still have fun, you can still be spontaneous. Kai and I actually did an Instagram live the other day.
Oh,
we made
gosh.
brownies on it was hilarious. We made brownies on Instagram live, and everybody loved it. They're like, oh my God, do this again. But there are still good things happening in the world, and there's still good things that you can make happen in your own life. You just have to be willing to see the good. You have to be willing to focus on good things versus, kind of letting other things weigh you down. And again, I know that sometimes it seems so easy to say those things, especially when you're dealing, a lot of people are being laid off from their jobs, having their pay cut, or their health is actually compromised. So obviously your situation is going to vary depending on what's actually going on.
Right.
But there's always ways that we can support one another while we're all going through this together. So
and it could be anything. It could be, it doesn't have to be COVID-19. It could be a recession.
No.
It could be a tornado.
Anything.
Anything.
It could be anything.
All these, it could be anything.
Well, and that's why I think that if that's how we raise our children, if that's how we just operate on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't matter what happens in the world. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
But if everybody's operating with those same principles of just, the do unto others as you would have them do unto you, like
golden rule, right?
Gratefulness, of gratitude, of kindness. It doesn't matter what we go through, but obviously not everybody operates with those principles because here we are.
Right.
But I think those are some things that I would say that if we all are able to do on a regular basis, and we're looking out for our neighbors, and we're just showing kindness, and it doesn't have to be you're giving somebody money. A smile goes a long way. A hi, a holding the door, insert any tiny little act that may make someone else just feel like, wow, that was really special. In terms of just like overall health, I think, trying to move in some way if you can. And again, you got to use what you have. So If you live in an apartment building and you guys have stairs in that apartment building, but you don't have a treadmill or elliptical or whatever, go up and down the stairs a few times a day. If you have a courtyard and you can get out and get some sun, go out and get some sun. Just the little stuff. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. We want to take care of our bodies as much as we can. I tell my patients all the time, we get one body. That's it.
Right.
And so we want to best take care of it as well as we can. I personally have been vegetarian for almost 22 years after a very interesting food poisoning experience.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that we have to talk about that in another.
We'll save that for another podcast.
Yes.
But more recently, I have become even more plant-based, and I've been trying to get rid of. I don't do a lot of dairy, but cheese is like my vice because it's so good.
Okay.
But so I've been trying to cut back on that. I've been trying to drink more water. I've been trying to move my body. And again, those are things we don't need a gym. We don't need, I think sometimes people get hung up well, I can't go work out because the gyms are closed. No, you can still move. You may not do the same workout that you did at the gym, but you can still move, and you can, have fun with it. Have a dance party with your family. You can burn some calories just moving around, turn on Kids Bop if you got kids, or turn on whatever, station you like on Pandora or whatever.
Yeah.
And just move. There's so many things that we can do that don't require us to have to physically go out and go places. So I just encourage people to try doing some of those things.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this has been truly a wonderful chat. I have so appreciated
Yes.
your input, and I just
Oh,
love
absolutely.
your, you know, your place that you come from of gratitude and abundance and love, and you exude
Yeah.
that. And
Oh, thank
so this has
you.
just been a real pleasure for me. But please let everybody know how they can find you.
So I am on Instagram at Dr. Kiarra King. It's just the little at symbol, DrKiarraKing. Or you can go to my website, which is drkiarraking.com.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for joining us again on this episode of
Absolutely.
Wellness Wednesday, and
Thank you.
we will we'll talk to you again soon. We have to come back to that vegetarian thing.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely. That's its own discussion. I would
It is, because
absolutely
I'm a
come back to
vegetarian
that.
in the meat lovers world. So yeah, we'll talk. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much
All
for
right.
having me.
Take care.
You too.